On July 15, 2006, famed science fiction author Whitley Strieber, best known for his books The Hunger and Communion, was out at the theater with his wife Anne and her friend Starfire Tor. Little did they know that what would happen that night would rival anything found in Whitley's books.
Nothing seems impossible to me anymore. I haven't talked about it very much.
After dinner, Anne and her friend went into what they thought was an empty ladies' room.
Well, it's a very small room, about 10 by 12. There was nobody in that room except for Anne Strieber and myself.
So I was standing on these steps. No one went in it after the two of them went in it. And I was watching the entire time.
Anne was a little bit before me, and she left and said she would wait for me outside.
So I went outside, stood in front of the door, waiting for Starfire.
As I slightly rounded the corner, coming out of the stall, a woman just materialized. Whoa! She didn't seem to understand where she was. She seemed confused, and then she just left the room.
While I was standing there, a woman came out.
I go out the door to the ladies' room, and Anne Strieber rushes up to me, very, very excited. She says, "A lady came out, but she didn't go in. A lady came out, but she didn't go in."
This was pretty amazing because we knew no one was in there when we went in.
No one, absolutely no one, went in that bathroom.
Who was this mysterious woman? And how could she have appeared from nowhere? For the eyewitnesses, this is no ghost story. For them, the answer is much weirder.
Something altered the timelines. We were brought together like a bad edit of a film, and that's how we almost collided.
If the woman was real, how did she enter the room unseen? Could time travel be possible? Remarkably, evidence that proves this incredible theory could lie in a 17-mile tunnel deep underground on the border of France and Switzerland. This is the Large Hadron Collider, a particle accelerator capable of recreating conditions that last existed when the universe was less than 1/1,000,000th of a second old. Here, thousands of the world's brightest minds are working on some of the most fundamental unanswered questions of the universe. The deep structure of space and time, the intersection of quantum mechanics and general relativity. The knowledge obtained from these experiments could eventually lead to the creation of a time machine.
This is what Einstein's dream was with the Large Hadron Collider. Perhaps one day we'll be able to answer these cosmic questions. What happened before the Big Bang? Is it possible to go through a black hole? Can you bend time into a pretzel?
Can we really manipulate time? To find out, we first need to investigate time itself. Some physicists have described time as a river, constantly flowing in one direction.
Now we look at a river and we think of the spot on the river where we are is something like the present moment. And then upstream from us is the future. This is coming towards us. It's relentless. It's sort of inevitable. In a moment, what was up there is going to be here. And downstream from us, we can think of as the past. So these are events that have already happened. So there you have it. You've got the future, you've got the present moment, you've got the past.
Is it possible to go against the flow of time into the future? Or move even faster downstream into the past?
So we always knew that if you could travel faster than the speed of light, you could travel back in time.
Albert Einstein determined that light travels at constant speed throughout the universe. 186,000 miles per second. It's so fast it can travel over 90 million miles from the sun to the earth in just 8 minutes. When traveling near or faster than the speed of light, time becomes warped, making time travel theoretically possible.
But Einstein showed in his special theory of relativity that you can't build a spaceship that goes faster than the speed of light. You get closer and closer and closer to it, but you never quite get there.
But modern quantum physicists have built on Einstein's theories. They believe there's a way you can beat light to a destination by cheating. By bending the fabric of space and connecting two distant points, a time traveler could create a shortcut. This theoretical tunnel through space and time is known as a wormhole.
Think of Alice in Wonderland. She had a looking glass and she put her hand through it and her hand went to the other side of forever. That is a wormhole.
Could we manipulate the very fabric of time and space?
If we have something called negative matter or negative energy, it might be possible to build a gateway to another universe, a gateway to another point in space or time.
The only problem is the amount of energy required to punch a hole to the other side of the universe is impossible for us to achieve with our current technology.
We're talking about the energy of a black hole, the energy of a star, in order to bend time into a pretzel.
Can we travel in time? Physicists know traveling to the future is not only possible, but relatively easy.
How do you exploit Einstein's theory of relativity to travel into the future? Well, it turns out it's not that hard to do. Now, it's hard from an engineering point of view. You just need a really fast spaceship, which we don't have. But if you had one, here's what you do. You just go on a long journey and come back home.
Remarkably, this is possible because time behaves differently when an object or person travels at high velocities. It is called time dilation.
If you move fast enough, your clock will disagree from a clock that's been left at home. A similar thing can happen if you spend a lot of time in a strong gravitational field, like near a black hole, for example.
This amazing feat has actually already been accomplished. Russian cosmonaut Sergei Krikalev has spent more time in space than any other human being. From 1988 to 2005, Krikalev spent 803 days orbiting the Earth at high speed. At times, Krikalev was traveling at 17,000 miles per hour, nowhere near the speed of light, but fast enough to travel forward in time.
It's only about 1/50th of a second, so it's almost too small to even notice. But he has aged just a little bit less than, let's say, if he had had a twin brother who had stayed on the ground. He's just a little bit younger than his brother would have been.
Using this theory, it may be possible to travel thousands of years into the future.
Imagine traveling all the way around the circumference of the Milky Way galaxy, our galaxy. Now, it's very big. It's about 150,000 light years around, so it's going to take a long time. Here's the thing. To someone who has stayed at home and just watched you go and is waiting for your return, they have a long wait because it's going to take 150,000 years before you come back. But for you, from your point of view, on board this spaceship, only 23 years will have passed.
Although it seems impossible, the Large Hadron Collider could yet witness science fiction become science fact. It may not be a time machine, as some conspiracy theorists argue, but physicists believe this project could be the first small step in eventually creating the elusive wormhole.
There's a speculative idea that they may be able to make a mini black hole in the Large Hadron Collider.
Is it possible the mystery figure who appeared that night in Los Angeles really was a time traveler? Perhaps only time will tell.
So one day, if somebody knocks on your door and claims to be your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter, don't slam the door.
Weird or what?